Welcome to Season 2 of Why Your Business is Invisible Online. This season, we focus on the dramatic change artificial intelligence is having on your online visibility. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
Hi, this is Jim Filatico. I'm currently obsessed with planning my next beach adventure for my whole family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs. We're talking about AI this season. I'm wondering, can I get an AI agent to clean my house?
And I'm your host, John Manatis, still glued to my guitar, but with my new band planning our next tour. I was thinking about our episode today and everything you've been saying, Seamus, and pervasive, I think, throughout our discussion has been this theme of, I think, information gain. I hear the word differentiation, but being unique. Mm-hmm. I guess it's always been the case. I mean, companies always they try to be unique, but sometimes they tend to be generic in their space. But they're, some do it better than others, and some make it a point. They're constantly reinventing themselves so that they're always unique, regardless of where their industry is evolving. And so I'm hearing that that's what really AI responds to. The companies that really do the best job of putting information out there about themselves in every platform they can, to show how unique they really are.
Yeah, yes, it's that uniqueness, but it's got to be a uniqueness that's meaningful.
Okay. Keep going.
This is good. This because I could be unique by having a green head, right? But nobody cares, right? Mm-hmm. But so this is where strategy comes in. This is where doing the work is doing research and doing what competitor research as well, and really digging deep into finding something sort of that differentiates you in a good and purposeful way to drive the outcome that would be desirable for you. Okay. Right? I couldn't say it in more powerful and pointed words, is that you got to find the difference that makes the difference.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. So if you had to pick one thing a CEO or a CMO should do now to evolve with their teams, seeing where traditional is headed and where AI is forcing it to go, is that it? Is it what you just said?
I would do the work. I would do the work. I would do a customer persona workshop. I would do my brand uniqueness sort of workshop. I would talk to my customers. I would encourage people to generate and post content. I would pull down all my Google reviews and I'd mine them for insights. I would pull down my competitors' Google reviews and mine those for insights. I would just pursue my understanding of what makes my customer my best customer. Mm-hmm. And then I would do the work and I would come up with a content strategy that was AI friendly today. So it uses simple language. It doesn't use complicated language. So it makes it accessible. It might start with a summary at the top to save not only my potential customers time, so they can say, oh, this page is for me. This is the sort of content I want to write. Oh, I've already got my answer. You kind of compete with AI answers by doing it yourself, right? But AI then can read that very efficiently and say, this is a piece of content that's relevant. Then I would then think about, okay, I can look at the top ranking content on Google and say, okay, it's got some infographics, it's got some useful data, it's got some unique statistics. I should have that, right? And then it would say, what hasn't it got? What, with my knowledge of my customers, is important to them? What's it missing? Can I add that? And that's information gain, right? That gives you edge, is that in statistics, it's called edge.
That's a great word. Yeah, edge. Yeah. Edge. And a memorable one too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is that you've got to look at your content and think again about it. A content audit. Think about, is this really hitting what I need for my customers? And don't think that that content stays up to date without you doing something to it, right?
Right.
So, and have I really done the work to move up on domain authority? Have I done the work? I can moan about not getting enough organic, but have I done the work?
Yeah,
Right?
that's so fair. Yeah, that's a fair
And
comment.
so it's like, look at Google Console, right? Is look at GA4, go a bit deeper, and you'll find the AI search referrals. Look at SEMrush, or use your agency to look at SEMrush and look at the AI results. But constantly keep it fresh. So relevance and recency, are two things that you should be able to do, and build authority, obviously through domain authority and through good references. If you want to optimize for ChatGPT, you should be optimizing for Bing. If you want to optimize for Gemini, you should be optimizing for Google. And there's some others. Anthropic now is sourced by a company called Brave. So you should optimize for Brave. And these are the sorts of things that, that professionals are doing day in, day out. So if your time is worth more money doing your business, get your professionals to do this for you.
Absolutely.
Is the moral of this story. And but if you don't do it, your competitor can do it. And and it's just a harsh reality of life, is that if you have a shop window, right, and you have products in there that you want to sell, but you never clean the window, it just gets harder and harder for people to see your product. Content is the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great note to close things off. I think those are the keys that everybody should. All business leaders right now have to do that hard work. A lot of it, to be fair, is traditional marketing strategy. That's how you do it. You've always had to do it, but a lot of people don't. And then you're right. Those windows, that's a great analogy. Those windows do get pretty foggy if you don't do that work constantly, refreshing it, because your industry evolves. So,
just even like, imagine a shop window that don't change. It's your leaves again, isn't it? It's. Yeah, what I would say, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
That's right.
But that's if you're expecting your content to be like that, it's just not enough. And I say content. Look, there's other things. Is that there's technical SEO,
for sure.
right? Yeah. There's load speed. We haven't talked about so many other stuff, which I call technical SEO. Really important. And
it's still important in AI, from what I can see. Like, we've tested,
no, for sure.
tested it, and they're like, yeah, it has to be intact.
Because here's the thing. I'll tell you why it's really super important, is that all these are sending out bots to scrape your
right.
That costs a lot of money, right? If you're slow to respond, or your content's hard to navigate, or it's full of JavaScript, all these types of things, these are barriers.
They're moving on. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a burglar. They find the house with the door open. They don't try and blow up like Fort Knox to get in a bar of gold. They say, hey, look, this guy's left his door open, and we should leave our door open for these. Look, there's other things. Is that there's you can put in AI notices. You can block bots from looking at your content. That sort of stuff. Arguably, works, doesn't work. A lot of the times it gets ignored. There's a lot of the research that's there. There's a whole sea of information around here. But I would say to your listeners is that technical SEO is like a given. But from an AI point of view, it's largely content. It's largely making that content accessible and to be relevant and recent. you know, and in my opinion, and as simple as possible.
Yeah.
But the brand voice is important because you are just not optimizing for AI. You're optimizing for the emotional connection with human.
Yeah.
You know, and but one thing we didn't touch upon is agent to agent search, which is coming up. So that is that. You could ask me a future question, and I could give you an answer to that.
Yeah, let's talk about agent-to-agent search because I really don't know much about it, but you're seeing it as an upcoming trend that we need to be on top of. So yeah, I'd love to hear more about your thoughts on agent-to-agent.
Yeah, so A to A or whatever we're going to end up calling it, you know, is that it doesn't really matter in the sense is that we're already seeing it is that ChatGPT has got a thing called Operator. Google's got Project Mariner, I think. Anyway, I forget what they're all got different names, but they're all around navigating, you know, or orchestration, that size type of things. But these are like, at the moment, they're kind of browser-based things where they navigate your website, but they don't need to be. We've got deep research, which are agentic in nature. It will go out, it will reason what somebody is asking for, and it will formulate a conclusion, right? So it will look at your content, and then it will summarize it, turn it into a product, a work product, a table, you know, whatever you've asked for, an image even. So why it's important is again, it's around data. Is that, and it's about trust signals, is that if a human can decipher, you know, what's going on because of their broader knowledge of your brand and these types of things, an agent might not have that initially on board. So it will be looking for as many signals as possible. And if you haven't got data, it can't process it, right? So I think we're seeing the end of the minimalist websites. You know, in the sense, well, because there's very little data on them. They're such a visual experience, and the AI is not looking at the images ostensibly. Right. So you know, those thin sort of like scrollable sort of, you know, pieces. They lack the depth of content.
Okay, I see where you're going.
In my opinion, to influence the AI. So. But when we get into agent to agent, it's likely is that we will have a human experience website and we'll have an agentic experience that's more akin to a database. So it would be like example, API sort of type thing.
So Jim and I, being consultants and strategists in this space, are you saying we might have to build the typical traditional website for certain reasons it's one way for a company to express itself. But in addition to that, we'd have to build another location that allows AI tools to go deeper on our knowledge.
This is all future-based.
Oh, it's future-based.
Well,
okay.
This isn't, there are no standards around this, but it's logical that there'll be some way, is that we don't want too much data for humans. They get overloaded, you know.
Absolutely.
But we want efficient forms of how machine to machine can listen for each other. It's a bit like a fax machine, you know. It sends bits and bytes, you know, and data in a different way. It's more efficient than doing it any other way. So what we're likely to see is that there'll be some efficiencies there. It will probably get out of control first, and then we'll come to it. Is that tends to be the way. So, but really, if you haven't got content on your website that is important for a customer or a prospect or a user to formulate a decision, you're going to be light in the ability for an agent or AI to deem you relevant.
Make that same decision.
Yeah.
You need sufficient content and the right content.
And it's the right content. Yeah. Because the old traditional SEO, they would always tell us, I need 1,500 words on this page. Your page is too light. But it's the right content that we need on those pages going forward. And when you say agent to agent, you mean AI built agents like that? Okay.
So it will be looking there, and it will be using what we call reasoning models now that are much more logical, and it will be determining. They're called agents because you give them agency to act on your behalf.
Okay.
Okay. So really is that they're making autonomous or semi-autonomous decisions on, is that content answering
The
your
question.
intent?
Yeah. I have a friend of mine who built an entire company. If you go to her website, you see 80 agents, 80 faces there. She actually has faces on it. But there's an agent for just content. There's an agent for
They're
distribution.
basically genius tools.
Yeah, they're little mini genius tools, basically.
They are,
She has names for them.
She has names for them. Yeah, there's Joe.
personas.
Yeah, personas. Yeah, there's Joe. There's Tony. There's Irene.
Yeah. It's
I don't know if they talk. They don't talk. Maybe they do talk to each other. I don't know.
They can talk. There was a thing called Character AI, and Microsoft kind of bought the talent, and it's very much around. And Meta's been doing a lot of stuff in this space. We're going to see more and more. Is that I don't know if you're familiar on Google. There's things called headless videos and stuff like that. So it's just AI generated, and so they're called headless videos. So
Really? Okay.
more and more so. If you look at the advancements in AI generated video, it's amazing. So it's just a matter of time, really, and efficiency and price. It's price, really. That's really driving at the moment.
That's the one question you just reminded me that I wanted to close on.
Right.
Timing. So we know how fast AI is changing, but if we're going to help leaders, CEOs, CMOs, and just leaders of even medium-sized businesses, how do they, what are the things they react to from a timing perspective, and how fast do they have to react to these things right now in order to stay competitive? So you went through the whole laundry list of things they should be doing, which was the core of marketing strategy, what you basically said. They should be doing that 24/7 anyway. But there are some things that they should be doing right now with a sense of urgency in order to stay competitive because of AI. Is there a handful of things you would advise them, if I had to pick 3 things, this is what they would be?
All right, it's triage basically. So it's that So what's your money pages? Right, concentrate on those.
Okay.
It's like it's as pragmatic as anything. Is that WSI's AI team? We have one thing or 2 things that customers tell us is that we're pragmatic and practical. So, and that's the sort of values that we want to bring. So look at your content, do some of the work, do some strategy work, do some workshops or whatever you require, to get some answers around your ideal customer persona. See that it currently matches up. We're just about moving into maybe a different economic era, right? Changes how people perceive products, services with that change. Is your customer persona reflecting that economic change or not?
That's a great insight. Yeah.
Right. So you constantly, it's a living document.
Yes.
Right. And that is what I want to say is that the act of updating your content, the act of your marketing and what's your differentiator, what are your competitors doing, is a living document. And, you should be updating that, and you should be getting your suppliers to help you if you can't do it yourself, and treat it as a priority and come up with a plan. Right. And the plan must be around what are the most important things for your business, right? What do you need to do? And, and concentrate on that. It's the 80-20. Is that 80% of your business will come from 20% of your effort. So
always.
And then so, you just need to have a team. You've got to do a content audit and concentrate on those pieces of content that need updating and repurposing, and start concentrating. Is that ChatGPT has 400 million regulars a month now. and it was the fastest growing business ever, online. And just recently, when they updated their images, it had 1 million new sign-ups in 1 hour.
My God, wow.
And that's why ChatGPT at the moment performance is down, because they've had a real big surge of use. And and that's their biggest challenge, is actually keeping up with the growth.
Yes.
It's a bit like, having a hit product. You can't get the raw materials quick enough to get it out the door.
Right.
Yeah.
And so really, it's be super pragmatic, do a content audit, focus on your money pages.
The 3 R's you mentioned were?
Relevance, recency, and answer the bloody question.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, but you do need to be, it's about being really unique in something meaningful as well. So to your customer or your prospect, or whatever entity you're trying to influence. But
no, that's amazing.
It. Yeah, it's the same old thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Seamus. I mean, that's pretty much a wrap. Thank you for all your insights. Honestly, we're probably you gave us a ton of information, so we're probably going to end up cutting it into multiple episodes.
Oh, yeah,
so,
I was thinking the same thing. That's great.
There's a lot there. Yeah, but thank you so much.
And there's more. Is there anybody that says they know everything? No, nothing.
And it's changing. And one of our disclaimers in this whole season 2 is on AI. It's basically what we're saying today could change tomorrow.
Yeah, you do what you're going to do. But anyway, look, it's just nice hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
What I want them to go away with is knowing that marketing strategy matters.
100%.
Because I want them to be booking you guys to do that. I'm not saying that because I want to grow your business. I'm saying it because it's bloody good advice for them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, but it came across. We appreciate that.
But guys like Cormac, I mean, he's been building his business that way from day one. Like we recognized it early that, to really win in this business, you can't be just tactical. You have to start with strategy. And Cormac was doing it from day one. We saw it.
That is his business. Yeah, that is his business. Well, I have a little saying. I go, strategy first, tactics aligned.
Practice aligned, yeah, exactly.
Right, and that's my advice to clients, is that because you've got to say, okay, right, I've got to fund this. Just like Kelly said, look, I need to set up another activity where this is going to be important for my future, right? This is like, how many people come to you and say, if only I could be around when Google first started.
Well, we say that about WSI. We say it about WSI. If we started 25 years ago, we'd be Neil Lappy now, but we're not.
You see what I'm saying? There's still
opportunity.
They have that. They have that opportunity now to, if they do the work, and they need something that is meaningful. This doesn't help a bad business.
No.
It might, but predominantly it's about good businesses not missing out on the opportunity.
That's what it is. And you'd be surprised how many are just still in the dark. So we're all doing God's work now. I mean, we're definitely helping a lot of people just get their heads around this, because I don't know if they're afraid or they just don't see it as a big deal.
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Deer in the headlights. That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Fire hose.
But you know what? They're busy.
They're busy. They're busy. They're busy being busy. Exactly. Not protecting themselves from what's about to hit them. And their competitors are doing this.
They're firefighting, and all they see is smoke at the moment and no flames.
Yes.
And hopefully today there's some flames here. So,
yes.
For sure.
We'll let you know. This is going to be a popular series, I think. We've had some good numbers with our first season, but this is going to, I think, break some records.
Let's hope so.
Thanks to you, Robert as well. He was on as well about a week or so ago. Thank you. Yeah, you for your time.
Best of luck. Is that really glad to get behind you guys. It's just hard at the moment. Is that trust is so important to booking SEO.
Oh
and
true.
Yeah, and the people we talked to just got burned half the time. Most of the time they just got burned.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're looking for something. So
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of being realistic and pragmatic, and and giving them good but achievable targets.
Mhm.
But, if they don't do it, their competitor will. Or
That's it. That's exactly it.
I know it sounds like a bit of a fear sale, but it's so true. So
And
often.
then they'll be scrambling, right? As soon as they figure, well,
It's too late.
It's too late. Yeah,
Is it?
it'll be so blatant in their face that you should have done this 10 years ago. Like instead of firefighting, somebody should have been looking out for this massive change. So anyway,
But do me a favor. You do not give this research and strategy work for free.
no.
Right? This is like, we can get you on a cohort or whatever, but these workshops, Jim and Kelly could help you on that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all driven or supported by Genius tools.
right.
So
Exactly.
so it's kind of lower effort, but still, maximal sort of impact
of
for
us-
the clients.
The three of us are trying to swim more upstream.
Hmm.
You got it.
We're instead of talking about an HVAC guy,
Yeah.
we're trying to talk about HVAC firms. We're trying to go and focus more upstream, and that's where we'll have that opportunity. It's all about lead gen.
Yeah, well, it is, but it's about positioning. The same is for you is as podcasters that elevates you, that gives you authority,
Right.
Exactly.
and
that's
so
why
you're
we're doing
doing this for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right,
Thank you. Thanks,
I've got to
Seamus.
bounce.
Yeah,
I've got to bounce.
Great,
Thank you very much.
meeting you.
You take care.
Yeah, you
Don't
too.
be too brutal with me on the.
No,
Oh, no.
no, not at all. See you, Seamus.
See ya.
Great meeting you.
Bye. Bye. Likewise. Yeah. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.